Welcome back to Dark Souls. Last time, we returned to the Tomb of the Giants. We met Trusty Patches, got betrayed by Trusty Patches. We saved Ray of Thorland, and we had to put down our friend Paladin Leroy. It was just his black phantom. His real self is still somewhere in the world. He's still alive. Do you think if we saw him in person, he would try to kill us? It's very possible. Now, with Leroy defeated, we proceed past the brilliant light. First thing I'd want to notice is this crystal lizard. Go get him now. You get more white titanite chunks if you kill him here. What would I want to equip here? I think I want to equip this Divine Club. We're going through these caves. Ow. I think I made a mistake. Probably. Let's just stick with the long sword. We'll be using that club for something else, though. Right. Sorry for the heavy breathing again. It's par for the course now. That's one. Dead. We have that bone tower over there, with an archer right behind them, right behind it. Gotta go get it. We can go get him from here. Not too tough. Gotta just wait for it. Make sure that doesn't happen. Or that. If you don't take out that bone tower now, it'll burrow up behind you. So take it out as quick as possible. After this, run. Because we got a friend waiting. Dead. With the bouncers out, now that we took out the bouncers, we're going to head into the next area. You might find this disturbing. I don't care. Past this room, we have a bunch of skeletons. There's skeletons everywhere. Kneel down, almost as if they're praying, they're bowing down. Some of them are bowing down. They're bowing down before the Grave Lord. And over there we have what look to be pinwheels. But why would there be pinwheels here? Well, Pinwheel was able to create clones. Maybe some attempts to bring his family back to life ended up in him just splitting himself into copies, and he discarded them here. We can snipe them from here, and I think I will. Whoa! There it is. This is a baby skeleton. They die in one hit. Do not take them lightly. They might be small, they might be cute, but they can build up toxic incredibly fast. I don't see any other babies here. So I think I'm going to take out this Pinwheel too. Yep, that ought to do it. Let's continue. A soul of a hero here. And another... Not another baby skeleton, they're starting to swarm. I will not attempt to explain what these skeleton babies are, because quite frankly, I don't know. And that's what makes them more terrifying. I don't know what they're for. Do they make good sport? Does Nito hunt them does Nito hunt them? Does he just keep them around for his amusement? I don't know. Let's see. Down. Stinking Pinwheel. You're next. White Titanite chunks. They dropped them too. The Pinwheel servant. Another hero's soul. I know that there are more. There he is. I got swarmed. Damn. Babies. Don't go in the water. It's very dangerous. because they can build up toxic very easily. I'm just gonna say this now, but they also make for a very good way to farm humanity and souls, since they respawn infinitely. Still not a good idea to try to hunt them down, but always an option. You know what? Yes. My volume is working, I just need to make sure it is. And the last thing I want to find around here would be this thing all the way at the back. A white Titanite slab. Our first elemental Titanite slab. Legendary slabs are heirlooms of a nameless blacksmith deity who forged the weapons of other gods. To make a perfect divine weapon, you would need one of these. And we have one. Now that that's over... Oh god, that is terrifying. I think I'm going to quit the game and put it back. How bad can this be? What could possibly happen if I do this wrong? Exactly, not much. All the pinwheel clones are dead. There's the fog gate. That ring of sacrifice is staying on. And I'm also going to bring a divine weapon. I highly recommend you do the same. Can I roll? Yes, I can. But it's not like I'll be using the bow anyway, so I'll switch that out for the Pyromancy Flame. All these skeletons bow to the Grave Lord. I just have to hold my breath around some of this game now. That's fine with me, but I'm just worried it'll affect other people. We have our ring, we have our club, we have our sword, we have our flame. We are ready to fight a true lord. I'm ready. And with that, the first of the dead, Gravelord Nito, has been defeated. He's been granted his eternal rest. A Lord Soul. The soul of Gravelord Nito, first of the dead. This Lord Soul was discovered at the dawn of the Age of Fire. Gravelord Nito administers the death of all manner of beings. The power of this soul is so great that it satiates the Lord Vessel, despite the fact that much of its energy has already been offered to death. He put so much of his being into administering the death of everything that he was weak. That's why Nito moved so slowly. All he could do against us was use his miasma. The attacks with the sword are too slow to be able to do any damage. And that way, I think Nito's boss fight, despite the lack of challenge, Nito represents his lore perfectly. He didn't even want to fight us. He wanted to be left alone, not concerned with the politics of the outside world. He didn't care about what Gwyn was doing. He didn't care about linking the fire. He just cared that things lived and things died. He just cared that all living things would eventually die. Balance, of a sort. He had the soul of death. Even though he used most of his power, his soul's still enough to satiate the Lord Vessel. The only thing he can really do is use his skeletons against you. And I can't talk about the fight without talking about his boss theme. No one really talks about Nito's boss theme, but it's one of my favorites. Everyone thinks of Taurus Demon, Ornstein and Smo. They think of Sif, the Four Kings. No one ever talks about Gravelord Nito. And it's kind of a shame, but there is some truth to this. I feel like Gravelord Nito didn't get enough development. No one should be developed, say, in the way that Gwyn was. Gwyn, like it or not, he's the real main character of Dark Souls. But Nito, he was a lord, but after he defeated the dragons, he didn't actually do anything of note. He didn't do anything important, but that's part of who he is. He's someone who did not care. Someone who wanted to sleep forever. Makes sense, actually. Right. This is actually the room that we met him in back when we took the servant's road, the servant's secret entrance, to become a Gravelord servant. Who knew that it was the exact same room? An item. The Paladin set. Well, there's our answer. That's what happened to Paladin Leroy. We found his body. Armor of Leroy, Paladin of the Catacombs. Long ago, the Way of White produced its first undead, a paladin in golden armor. With the legendary treasures Grant and Sanctus, Leroy set out for Lordran, land of the gods, in the first undead mission of the Way of White. This tells us one thing. Any cleric who was sent on an undead mission here never came back. Leroy was the first Paladin Leroy was the first cleric to come to Lordran. And he never came back. I have reason to believe that he became a Gravelord's servant, or he found himself dealing with Nito in some way. That's possibly why he invaded us. He invaded us trying to get the right of kindling back to Nito. Maybe before we even summoned him, he met up with Nito, and he was trying to, and he wanted to be summoned so he could get the right of kindling back for his master, because he relinquished his faith down here. He may be a powerful cleric, but his faith has diminished. And when he couldn't come back, when we defeated him at his invasion point, Nito killed him. Or maybe Leroy gave up because you still can't kill an undead. Nito doesn't even like this whole undead thing, because it goes against death. It goes against nature. Maybe he gave up and hollowed out in this cave. He went back to Nito and he just gave up. We have uncovered all of the corruption of the Way of White. To be sent on an undead mission is the equivalent to exile. If they didn't care if you left and never came back. They wanted to get rid of their undead to make sure they couldn't ever be seen as hypocrites, even though they were still obviously seen as hypocrites through their actions. It's strange that it wasn't the gods that really did that. All of the corruption with the Way of White. That had nothing to do with the gods. It was the humans, the leaders of the church themselves. People like Petrus, who made this whole operation corrupt. There's his coffin again. Gravelord Nito sleeps with the fishes now. And with that, we can come back here whenever we want. Not like we'd have a need to, but we can if we want. Now that we're out of there, I think I want to make some level ups. We're done here, and here. Alright. We're gonna level up endurance. One more vitality. And a strength. No. 2 strength. Honestly, levels don't really matter anymore. Because... levels don't really matter because... what really matters is how strong your actual weapons are. Because we're so far into the game that... as long as you have upgraded weapons, you could... do whatever you want. Sure, health and stamina still matter, but not as much as they would be as they could be. That's that. Now we're level 65. I think we'll stay like this for a while. Now I want to return to Firelink Shrine. Right. Now we're back at Firelink. What was I doing? Ah, yes. I'd like to go back behind where Framp was. Because We have a friend waiting for us. Trusty Patches. We meet again.
Oh, we meet again. How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Have a nice look at them. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
And with that, Patches is now a merchant here. We get the prostration gesture. It's a pretty good gesture, too. He's done with all the corpse robbing, I guess. I think we can actually trust him now. He sells Eyes of Death, Divine Blessings. He also sells these. Prism Stones, Path Markers. Drop and listen to check the heights. A warm pebble emitting a beautiful phasing aura of 7 colors, and with a very rare 8th. Those are the strange colored stones that were all around the entrance to the Tomb of the Giants. He placed them to lead unsuspecting clerics to him. The rainbow stone does nothing special, but can serve as a path marker, like breadcrumbs, and can be dropped off a cliff to judge height by the sound of its descent. If a loud noise is heard upon its landing, then a fall off the ledge is surely lethal. I think I'm going to buy... not 99, 50. For 500 souls, they're pretty cheap. He also sells humanity at ridiculous prices. Only 3 of them, too. That's, not worth it. He sells twin humanities. He sells miracles, probably gotten from clerics. He sells this, the Crescent Axe. A well-used old bronze battle axe with a long hilt and a crescent-shaped blade. One of the blessed weapons of the Way of White. The Crescent Axe is bequeathed to cleric warriors who have proven their faith. Like Nito, one of Rhea's bodyguards. He was using a Crescent Axe. It has divine powers in it and does magic damage. He also sells this, a Canvas Talisman, a medium for casting miracles of the gods. Canvas Talismans are for clerics on a pilgrimage. I think we'll buy this. This is the talisman that Paladin Leroy was using. It was almost impossible to tell, but yes, that's what he was using. A Thurland Talisman. We looked at that, I don't need it. He also sells this cleric set. Armor worn by the warrior clerics of the Way of White, who are famous for being unyielding in battle. It is rather substantial in size and weight, making its wearer look even bigger than he actually is. So, this is Cleric Knight armor. Nothing interesting about it. Rather substantial, makes them look fat. They look fat, but they actually aren't, it's just the armor. This is also... Patches is also a merchant who sells these pinwheel masks. We got the Mask of the Mother from Pinwheel when we defeated him in the catacombs. We could buy the Mask of the Father and the Mask of the Child now. Or we could grind the Pinwheel's servants near Nito. They could eventually drop it, but it's highly unlikely that you'll get one. I think I'm going to buy the Mask of the Father. I have my reasons for that. And I think that's all I want from Patches. Patches seems to know a lot about Lord Ren, since he goes around tricking a bunch of people. You know what? Maybe it was Patches who stuffed Luctrick in that cell all the way back at the Undead Church. It's possible. And it was just a mystery key. There was nothing special about it. A mystery, just like Trusty Patches over here. He's anything but trustworthy. But I like him. He punishes the greedy. We were greedy, and and the clerics who came before were probably just also corrupt, greedy politicians at heart. Can you give us some information, Patches?
Here, have you met that backwoods Shiva? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is trouble. I can see it in his eyes. I just can. No doubt about it. Watch him.
This was an allusion to the fact that Shiva of the East is not what he seems to be, as I described him in my Painted World episode. About him and his questline with Chaos Blade. Thing is, the questline was cut and I killed him. So I know he's not to be trusted. Can you tell us about someone else?
Yeah, have you met that sunbathing Lair? Believe me on this one, bruv. He's a complete idiot. But he happens to be an awfully strong idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side.
Solaire, in a few ways, he is a fool. He himself doesn't even know what he's searching for. He's searching for what he calls his son, more on that later. But everyone around him sees him as a fool who who just uses normal equipment, and everyone thinks he's just a blind fool, blinded by his devotion to the Firstborn. But Solaire is strong. He managed to show that when he defeated the Bell Gargoyles for us. He was able to prove it by the fact that he made it to Anor Londo. I don't need to know that, Patches. Can you tell me about someone else?
Wait, have you met Petrus? That self-proclaimed cleric? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is scum. Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics.
Well, I think that pretty much confirms it. All the same, those rotten clerics. They are rotten. Petrus specifically. You know what? I think we're going to pay him a visit. We're going to tell him that we rescued Rhea. I want to hear his reaction. But he has one more thing to say, Patches here.
Boy, have you met Lautrec the Embraced? Believe me on this one, bruv. He's completely mad. He wouldn't think twice about cutting somebody down. So watch out for him. Especially if you've humanity to spare.
Don't worry about that either, Patches. We took him out a while ago. But we weren't able to stop the murder before it was too late, because I wanted to see him kill the Firekeeper. He wouldn't think twice about cutting someone down. Aren't you the one who threw him in that cell? They both don't like each other. Two depraved madmen. And I think that's it. Goodbye, Patches.
Right. Good stuff, eh? Don't you forget who got it for you.
Oh, I definitely won't. I'll see you later, Patches. Now, as for Petrus, well, let's go see him. Let's go see the scumbag. You know what? I think I'm going to equip one of these.
Oh, it's you. You rescued milady. Well, a pity that is, for it will amount to nothing. For the little madam is not worth her salt without her family name. What is it, fool? Driven to madness by emotion? So be it. You'll make a fine hollow. You can waltz in the infernal depths together. Why? How could I? What did I do wrong?
That's what he gets. I was waiting to do that. Little madam's not worth her salt without her family name, because her family abandoned her to become a cleric. And we absorb his humanity. What I did was very, very important. If I didn't take out Petrus now, he would find Rhea wherever she is, and murder her. Out of jealousy, perhaps? Or just showing what the Way of White actually do with undead clerics. He abandoned them. And in fact, it's possible that him and Patches work together to trap Rhea in the Tomb of the Giants. It was an inside job. He got what he deserved. He was a bad guy. Well, with Petrus of Thurland dead, our shrine becomes emptier. Next time on Dark Souls, we're going to, before we go for our next target, we're going to go find Rhea of Thorland. See you guys then.